Hi and welcome to Spice and Pans. Today we'll be cooking beancurd rolls. So let's start cooking. Now we'll prepare the fillings for the beancurd rolls. I have with me over here 320 grams of minced pork. Do go for streaky pork or pork shoulder. We need some fats because then it will be more juicy. Set this aside. We will also need 320 grams of prawn meat. Over here, I've deshelled and deveined them. I will need to smash half of it and chop into chunk half of it. I'll show you how I do this. Take roughly half of the prawns, place it on your chopping board like this, and we'll smash them up. Very simple, just place it on your chopping board and using a cleaver, just do it this way. Move it aside and continue with the rest. Once you have done with this, we'll chop this up. Just chop them up. Chop them up until they are fine. Something like this will be good, and we'll remove this and add this to our minced pork. Next, we'll cut up our prawns. Cut them into chunks like this because we really want to taste the crunchiness of the prawns, the sweetness of the prawns too. This will give this beancurd roll a different kind of texture when you bite into it. Of course, beside prawns and minced pork, you can also add in shiitake mushroom or carrot dice. It's really up to you. But I'm trying to make this dish as simple as possible. So these are the two basic ingredients that's needed. After you're done with this, we'll add this to our mixture. Just put them all in. And now I'll show you how I season this. To season this, we'll add in 1.5 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of chicken stock powder, 1.5 tablespoons of corn flour, as well as a few dashes of white pepper. Mix them up well. I'm using my hand. You can do the same too, but make sure you wash it up. Mix them in one direction. We want them to be sticky, the mixture itself, and to mix it really well. I'll show you how it looks like in a while. Once you have mixed them up well, we'll slam them. Slamming them will actually get rid of the air and make this texture much firmer, which is tastier, definitely. We'll slam this for about 20 or 30 times. Now we're prepared to roll up our beancurd roll, but before that we need to cut out our beancurd skin. You can get the beancurd skin from any dry goods store or any major supermarket, they will have it. This is how it looks like. Big piece like this. They are pretty fragile, so just be careful when you cut them up. We will halve them first using a sharp knife. Place in between the sheets like this and slowly just run through the sides. The skin is very fragile, so be very careful when you do this. Okay. Fold this up again. We'll halve it again. Halve this up again. I will need to cut this into smaller pieces so that I can wrap this up easily. I'll show you how the end result look like in a while. If you want your beancurd roll to be bigger, this is the size that we can use. I'll be using sizes like this. The size of this is approximately 13 by 20 cm. Now we set this aside and I'll show you how I roll this up. Before we start to roll our beancurd roll, we need to prepare some cornstarch solution. The ratio of the cornstarch against water is 1:1. Don't prepare a lot first. If it's not enough, then we prepare some more. The purpose of this is to glue the skin together. We will also need to have a clean damp cloth. This is to wipe the skin because it will be very salty. We need to wipe off the excess salt. Prepare a tray also to put your finished product on the tray. Using your damp cloth, just slightly wipe the skin to get rid of the excess salt. And this will make it easier to handle also because the water will soften the skin up a little bit. Take some of the filling just below the halfway line, put it down, spread it up a little. I'm using about 1 tablespoon of the filling. I spread it with approximately 1 finger from the edges. like this. Fold up the edge. Stick on like this. Same thing over here. Dab a little bit of the cornstarch solution over here, as well as here. Turn it up like this. And some cornstarch solution. And start to just roll them up. And it's done. Continue to do the rest until you're finished. Now we're prepared to shallow fry our beancurd rolls. I'm using a pot from Gourmet. This is part of their Shogun Timeless series. This is a 6.5 liter non-stick pot using titanium non-stick Swiss technology. Heat up your oil using medium heat. I'm using shallow frying instead of deep frying because I know a lot of our viewers are very concerned about deep frying, and I don't want my oil to be too hot so that I will not burn my beancurd rolls. Now let's just have a look. We just want bubbles rising up slowly from our chopstick. As you can see, this is the heat that we want. Slowly place in your beancurd roll with the end part facing down. We will fry them until they are very nice light golden brown. I've made 14 pieces of this, so I'm just going to fry 7 and 7. Don't move them around. Let them form the crust first and harden up before we turn it to the other side. If you see a lot of smoke rising up from the oil, that means it's too hot and you need to reduce the temperature. Something like this is very nice. If you prefer to cook this in an air fryer, you can do so also. Just spray some oil on the beancurd rolls. Set the temperature to 180 degrees Celsius and air fry them for about 15 to 20 minutes. If you prefer a darker shade of brown, just turn up the temperature to about 200 degrees Celsius. The first batch is almost done. We'll remove this from the oil. Later, I will double fry this again at high heat just to force the oil out. I'll finish up the rest of the rolls before I show you how I double fry this. Now we'll do a double fry. Turn your heat up to high or medium high. When the oil is hot, just put in half of it first. This will be pretty fast. Just maybe about 10-20 seconds max. Want to have that extra crispiness as well as forcing the oil out. This is good. Beautiful color. This is what we want. Now we'll proceed to continue with the second batch. And once it's done, it's time for our lunch. And now the dish is done, let's have a taste. Very juicy, very crunchy. You can taste the sweetness of the prawns. The chunkiness of the prawns inside here is really, really nice. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like our video. Do click like on our video and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. And now it's your turn to cook. See you and bye-bye. 很好吃。